Hi there, my name is Yichi and I graduated last May from Vanderbilt with majors in psychology and anthropology, and this is the video I wish I'd seen at some point before graduating onto the job market as a psychology major. Let's get comfy and join me on the floor here as I share some of my own experiences as well as some advice of things that I wish I knew before being out in the job market and not knowing what I want to do with my life. Is this cropping on my head? Okay. So this video is gonna start with me sharing some of my own experience with a quick rundown and then some advice that I really wish I'd seen. So I feel like in college I was pretty plugged into the psychology program, and I feel like other majors, like maybe the business or engineering majors, were more plugged into industry, work, and career options. I feel like psychology was not very much focused on that front, and because of that, when I had graduated and had been like, oh, I need to find a job, I was not prepared and I didn't really know what to do. So what did I do? I'm gonna give the short version here. When I was in college, I thought I wanted to pursue research. I never really considered working in industry in any sort of way. So in my senior year, I was really focused on trying to publish my research and get into grad school. However, after I had finished all my grad applications, I took a deep breath and I really thought to myself, wow, I don't think I want to be in academia. This is not the path that I wanted for a number of reasons. Then I pivoted to the job hunt. I was applying to a lot of different jobs, anything I was interested in or thought I could possibly be qualified for, and eventually I landed a summer internship as a strategy analyst for a health foods company, and currently now I work as a solutions engineer in medical software, in the cardiology sphere specifically. Both of these opportunities were super random. It's been a great learning experience for me so far, and I can elaborate more at a later time, but as you can see, my path was very non-linear and somewhat random. It's still an ongoing journey for me, and I'm really grateful for the position that I ended up in. My classmates who majored in psychology went on to a variety of different post-grad options. Some of them are in teaching, like in schools, working in labs as either a research assistant or a lab manager, master's programs across the board for public health, counseling, more psychology, and some people went to go work in UX as a designer or marketing. These are all fields that are adjacent to psychology. So you can see that psychology itself is really just a starting point. Whatever you do with your psychology major in college is really going to set you up for what your post-grad options are going to look like. So next, I wanted to give some advice on things that I think you should do in college and consider in order to have good post-grad outcomes. So the first thing I want to bring up is something that I thought was a misconception for myself all throughout my undergraduate, and I never really understood until after I graduated. A degree is not the same thing as an education. What I mean by this is I think there's this idea, or maybe just for me, that college is a place where you just learn and explore, but I think that's just not true. Eventually school will end and your real life will take over, and different degrees don't have the same outcomes because certain degrees hold more weight in finding work due to the skill sets that you learn in that degree, and also just the level of challenge of that degree in general. The median starting salary for a psychology major is $60,000, while the median starting salary for an engineering major is $90,000. Educating yourself in a topic that's interesting to you is not the same thing as getting a degree in it. I think for myself, when I was in high school, I was really interested in psychology. I would do a lot of self-study and reading, and that made me think, oh, this will be a great major for me in college. While I think that is true to an extent, you can study something that you're interested in without getting a degree in it. Reading about things and learning about things is free, so there's always that aspect of the equation. Possibly, since you're watching this video, you are a psychology major. How do you position yourself well? I think the most important thing you can do in your undergraduate to position yourself for jobs post-grad as a psychology major is to find internships. No degree will automatically land you some job unless you have some sort of internship or experience. For example, if you're a psychology major, and you decide that you're going to find an internship in business during college, then after college, you have a better chance of finding some sort of job in business and marketing yourself towards that job versus like a business major who never found any internships in college. So I think your experience really matters, and if there's some sort of field that you're interested in, you should just try to find an internship. Internships tend to be a lot more flexible with like the majors that they hire from. So that could be a great way to bridge that experience. My second tip here would be to pick up a second major or minor in an applied industry field. This doesn't have to be something you're like super sure that you want to do, but some popular like useful majors and minors could be like data science, like statistics, and these are just things that could help you market yourself better as well and get the skills that you might need to find some of these jobs. My third piece of advice is how to navigate the job market. I think something that I really struggled in when I was applying to jobs and internships was just knowing that I didn't have the experience. I had a lot of imposter syndrome, and that made it hard for me to sometimes send out the applications and feel confident during an interview. The most important thing that helped me here was believing that even if I didn't necessarily have the skills or experience in a certain field or at a certain job, I believe that I could do a good job at my job. Believing that I have the commitment and I'm able to learn is something that helped give me the confidence to really keep applying and trying to find a job, even when I had really bad imposter syndrome. Something that's really helpful is talking to someone in that role or field that you're interested in, asking them what are the things you do day to day and what skills do you have, and then finding if you yourself have those transferable skills that could maybe make you a good fit for the job. Lastly, my advice is to just believe you will find a job. I know it's really hard and sometimes it feels very bleak, but just believing that you will find a job eventually is just the push you need to keep being motivated and keep trying. If you get 1,000 no's, it doesn't matter because you only need that one yes. And now for the final question of this video. Would I major in psychology again? So I'm gonna start off by saying that I don't regret majoring in psychology and anthropology. I think it's really the fields of study that I'm very passionate and interested in. However, I will say that I think majoring in psychology was a mistake. I think I'm lucky that I ended up with a good job. Everything worked out okay, but from a monetary perspective, I think it's objectively a mistake to be majoring in psychology when you know that other degrees might have more value and may do better in the industry. In college, I never considered my degree from this sort of return on investment perspective because I had a scholarship and I wasn't paying money out of pocket to do the degree. But now looking back, I think that is something that has to be factored into the consideration when you choose a degree. If I were to go back in time, I would tell myself, don't do this. But again, I'm only the person I am today because of the experiences I've had and the majors that I've chosen, so I don't regret it. To everyone out there still in college or post-grad, navigating all of these sorts of job market things, let me know what questions you have and give me a follow. I'm trying to make more of this content that will be helpful and share my experiences, so let me know what you'd like to hear about.